Today's book is The Girl Who Died by Ragnar Jónasson. I'm sorry, guys, I'm a little stuffy and sniffly today, so forgive me. Anyway, in this book, we meet Una. She's lives in Reykjavik, and so she needed a little change. Her friend had showed her an ad for a little teaching assignment in a remote village in Skalar, and so she decided, you know what, I need a change, and she went ahead and took the assignment. It was only for the winter. And so she thought she would do it and see how it goes. So she went ahead and did that. So upon arriving at the village, it was really small. It was a fishing town by the sea, but very remote. There was only 10 people living there, and they were mostly elderly people. But anyway, she was supposed to be teaching there, and it was only two children. Must be a teacher's dream. So one of the children, the house that she was boarding at, one of the children lived there. And then there's one other child in the village. So when she arrived at the house, she thought she saw a little girl by the window or by the doorway, near the doorway. And so when she finally met the little girl who lived there the next day, and she mentioned that, she insisted that it wasn't her. So she later found out that the house had a history of being haunted, and there was a little girl who had died there years and years ago, probably in the early 1900s or 1800s or something like that. So now she's starting to feel uneasy, and later she was hearing things. There's a piano downstairs in the main living area that she would hear playing sometimes. So she was a little, jumpy and antsy because of that. So she was convinced herself now, after being there for a while, that you know, the place really was haunted. Anyway, the townspeople were really standoffish. They had all grown up together or had some form of a connection. And so they didn't like outsiders. So they weren't exactly welcoming to her. But anyway, the she went on with her job. And one day there was a man who um, came by their house who wasn't from the village, but they were asking for Yordis, who was a lady who lived further up, who had a little farm. So they let him know how to get there, that this wasn't the right house. But anyway, the person she was boarding with, um, what's her name? Sulka. Yes, sorry about that. Brain freeze. Sulka called Yordis to let her know that the man was there, and he was going to be coming up. Anyway, it was later discovered that the man had disappeared. There's a She had heard on the radio that the man matching the description of the guy who had knocked at their door had disappeared. So now she's wondering what happened to him, and how are they all involved. Anyway, when she talked to her friend back home and asked for them to send the clipping, because when she had gotten to the local store and asked for the newspaper, the owner supposedly said, oh, it didn't come. And then when she had asked the next time when he was supposed to arrive, it wasn't there either. So she asked her friend from Reykjavik to send her the clipping, and sure enough, it was the guy that who had knocked at their door. So now there's a mystery now that she's trying to solve. And of course, the locals do not like that, because they're like, you're getting involved in something that doesn't um, involve, doesn't, it's no business of yours, and leave well enough alone. People, go missing all the time. So now she's really suspicious, because no one seems to care that this guy had come around, and now he's nowhere to be found. So she gets pulled into a mystery of the guy who was there, and it turned out that one of the people in the village was somebody who was involved in a crime years and years ago, who was supposedly dead, who would pretty much assumed dead, who was now living in the village. And so the villagers were pretty much coming together to protect him and to ensure that he stays safe. So in the end, the haunting, she also was looking into what had happened with the little girl who died there. And also, in the course of her assignment, one of the little girls who lived in the village had also died. So this was something that she had also unraveled as to how the girl died, because the little girl seemed perfectly fine. And then one day when they were having the Christmas ceremony or their Christmas celebrations for the class. She just fell down and just died, and the medical professionals didn't really know what had happened, except it was related to her liver. So she was able to wrap up those mysteries up by the end of the book. And then also she had to now stand in solidarity with the locals now to protect the secrets that she had uncovered, because of course she doesn't know how now they would react if she decided, well, she's going to fall out of line. So anyway, this was a really great book from Ragnar Jónasson. I have read another one of his, the outside, I believe it was called. And this one was definitely top that one. This one is 4 stars for sure. I couldn't wait to see what would happen next, and how what the villagers were up to, and how this ghost girl, was she real or what had happened? How was this going to play out? So definitely worth a read. If you have read or listened to this book, let me know your thoughts. Until next time.